Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today we're out here, Graham Swamp, doing the Graham Duro from Graham Swamp to Mala Compra, part road, mostly trail, and wish us luck. It's like 30 miles, first time doing it, so let's get to it. Started the day pretty early for a weekend, and as some of you may or may not know, I'm an Ocala resident now. Somewhat counterproductive to ride Graham when I have the best trails in the state 5 minutes away from my doorstep, but I wanted to ride with the boys. This morning was particularly cold and foggy, and the sewers were hotboxing. It's about an hour and a half to Graham from Ocala, and pretty much the Wild West for road ragers. Luckily, they stay in during the morning hours because I've had some pretty crazy ragers come out and try to bump my rear end out on this Highway 40. Let's do a quick bike check before starting our first loop. This is the Chinese cross-country frame set, whose name brand I am deciding to withhold. It's set up with a 120mm RockShox Reba up front and Monarch on the rear, and technically speaking it's a 100mm of travel in the rear. For a bang for buck cross-country bike, I don't see spending more on either of the two suspension choices. But hey, I'm not saying I wouldn't try a Fox 34 Stepcast if one were to pop up or get sent my way for whatever reason, you know. This is also my maiden voyage with the Fidlock bottle, and I gotta say I love the fluorescent pop on this mostly black bike. Future me approves after a couple 100 miles of riding so far. I haven't had any issues with it. Now let's get to the real ride. I really enjoy parking at the south lot and riding the berm north to Graham as a warm-up. I didn't film the entrance of this ride because frankly it's been done thousands of times, so we're jumping right into this. And this was actually Steven's first day trying out clipless pedals for the first time, and I gotta say I'm pretty impressed at how well he did. Oh yeah. Yep. Keep going. Oh, what? Nice. Steven's first climbing clips, boy! And though I may have burned some of the footage of the customary clipless stop sign falls, I commend the bravery of facing the Graham Duro as his inaugural clipless ride. Welcome to the cyclist gang. You're never gonna go back, sorry. We tried to hold off from sessioning too much, but the road gap at Graham Swamp is always a treat, and we had to make sure to put in some laps there. And in general, Graham is just a really great trail to ride and so fun, especially on this fast XC bike. On that one. No pedaling from here. No pedaling, pump it. Gotta pump the whole thing. And now that the first lap is over, we head back to the main parking lot to fuel up, and we're gonna shoot over to Mala using the road and some of the greenway. We're at about 9.5 miles, leaving the Colbert Lane trailhead, heading to Mala Compra. We gotta get around that bend up there.
We really do.
And we'll be good. It's about 8 miles of road riding, and it's made up partly of a multi-use greenway.
A lot of people out today. It's Waterfront Park Road.
And I will add that if you're trying to do this in a fast pace, I'd probably just avoid the greenway because it is frequently occupied by foot traffic and people who are on bikes for probably the first time ever in their life, no offense, or just people trying to have a leisurely stroll next to the river. But aside from that, it is a very scenic route, and in fact all of Palm Coast is pretty scenic and has some of the best bike lanes on the north coast of Florida. Once we hit the top of the bridge here, we're about halfway done with the ride. Checkpoint about 3/4 of the way to Mala right now. 16 miles in, felt like a breeze, and we're about to descend on the biggest downhill of Flagler County. And finally, we make it to what I call the Loch Dog Trail entrance to Mala Compra. Brings you right to the best parts of Mala Compra.
Well, you got to do it now.
19 miles in.
Oh, my hub. Sorry, dude.
It's okay. We're at Mala Compra, 20 miles in, and we got to ride back. So probably about, I would say it's probably gonna be 35 miles. 35 miles. After all of the riding that I've done in Florida, I still think Mala has something special in the dirt that puts it at the top of the list. Yeah, Alafaya this, Santos that, Bomboyette hit me with a wiffle ball bat. I'm talking dirt here. Most of those lime rock trails are just that, lime rock.
Smooth.
Mala has some magic dirt that interacts with the tires completely differently. I'm not saying that there isn't mundane parts, but the good tech flow is some of the best in Florida. Oh, and if you go all big boy and shit on Florida mountain biking, please unsubscribe.
Climber, climber, climber.
Oh, Larry line.
Yep.
Woo. Oh, wow.
Ooh. Oh my gosh. That is no kidding.
Yeah.
God dang.
Yes, Sonny.
Woo! Jeez. That is something.
We are 26.86 miles in. The boys are in Publix right now. And really good ride. We got 10 miles back and then we're gonna call it a day, probably close to 40 miles. Awesome. And so we made our way back to Graham, making sure to stop at a sweet step up we'd found in this abandoned parking lot. It's like pretty much perfect for just sessioning, and many jumps were had. This was right around sunset, so we pretty much took in the day just having fun. And I want to say thanks for joining in on the ride. Don't forget to get out there and create your own adventure however you can, and do it every day. Mahalo, and I'll see you in the next one. We are out here on the Waterfront Park Greenway to close the ride. We're like 32 miles in, and we're heading back to Graham Swamp right now. It is a beautiful day to be riding, and very fortunate to do it. So if you want to see more adventures like this, just let me know. Those guys are on that side of the channel right now. And yeah, awesome ride. Other than that, no complaints. See you guys on the next one.